In the 14 lakh strong Indian Army, women constitute a minuscule 0.56%, while the corresponding figure is 1.08% in the Air Force and 6.5% in the Navy. There are more than 3,500 women in the military, but permanent commission and frontline combat roles have been off limits to them. In September, in response to petitions in the Supreme Court, the Government of India announced what it called good news, that women would be admitted into the National Defence Academy for permanent commission into India's armed forces. This effectively means that women in India can prepare for a career in the armed forces immediately after class 12. Entrance exams to the NDA are held twice a year, but the academy only enrolled men till now. With this decision, not only have the doors opened for women to gain permanent commission in the Indian Army, Air Force and Navy, it has long-term ramifications regarding the future of women in the armed forces. We look at why women in the NDA is a historic decision and what it means. Let us first look at the process of commissioning army officers into the Indian Armed Forces. Indian Army official website describes permanent commission as a career in the army till you retire. There are primarily three routes to getting commissioned into the Indian Armed Forces: the National Defence Academy, the Indian Military Academy, and Officers Training Academy. To be eligible for the NDA entrance exams, one has to be class 12 or higher secondary pass, while for IMA and OTA entrances, it is graduation. One can join the Army, Navy, Air Force and Naval Academy subject to meeting educational parameters and clearing the UPSC exam for the given choices. After clearing the entrance exams held by UPSC and a 5-day Services Selection Board interview, one is eligible to join the NDA. The selected candidates for the three services, Army, Navy and Air Force, are given preliminary training in both academic and physical for a period of 3 years at the National Defence Academy, which is an inter-service institution. The training during the first 2.5 years is common to the cadets of three wings. The cadets on passing out are awarded a degree from JNU in Delhi. On passing out from the National Defence Academy, Army cadets go to the Indian Military Academy, Naval cadets to Indian Naval Academy, and Air Force cadets to Air Force Academy. So let's understand how women enter the Indian Armed Forces. Though there are three routes of entry into the army, women could gain entry through OTA and the IMA, but not the NDA, which has changed now. To put things in context, the Indian Army does have women officers, but the roles differ. Initially, under the Army Act of 1950, women were ineligible for employment in the regular army except in such corps, departments or branches which the central government may specify by way of notifications. Almost 42 years after the Act, the government issued a notification in January 1992 making women eligible for appointment as officers in 5 branches: the Army Postal Service, Judge Advocate General's Department, Army Education Corps, Army Ordnance Corps, and Army Service Corps. In 1992, women were first inducted into various branches of the Indian Army as part of Short Service Commission. Initially, they could serve for 5 years and their service could be extended by another 5 years. In 2006, a policy revision allowed them to serve for a maximum of 14 years. However, there is selective permanent commission for women army officers. In 2008, women were first inducted as permanent commissioned officers into the legal and education corps. In 2020, they were first inducted in 8 more corps as permanent commissioned officers. As of 2020, women were not allowed to serve in combat units such as infantry, mechanized infantry, armored corps, and artillery. But what has been the debate all about? The stand centre had maintained over the years is that the earlier policies didn't qualify as violation of fundamental rights or gender discrimination, as the male cadets trained in NDA did not have any automatic advantage in future career advancement prospects over women. The centre had said that NDA is only one of the various modes of entries for recruitment in the Indian Armed Forces. On the ground as well, there are dissenting voices. While women being able to sit for the NDA test this year has been welcomed as a push for a substantive gender reset by some, there are voices which question the decision. They opine that as welcoming a step this is, several aspects of sending women to the battlefield might not have been taken into account entirely. However, let's look at women in combatant roles globally. So will India be the first country to put its women officers in combatant roles if it chose to do so? Well, no, according to National Geographic, at least 16 industrialized nations permit women to serve on the front line or in combat roles. Countries like Canada, Denmark, and Israel opened combat roles to women in the mid and late 80s. It was only in 2018 that the UK military lifted its ban on women serving in close combat ground roles and allowed them to serve in elite special forces. In 2016, the United States lifted the Pentagon's ban on allowing women in frontline combat roles. Women officers will now form an integral part of the armed forces, with similar career prospects as available to their male counterparts in every aspect. All personnel must be judged from their training onwards by universally applicable criteria with regards to physical standards and service profile regardless of gender. This would mean a change in mindset, infrastructure, and established systems which were created to facilitate and prepare male candidates primarily for entry into defense services.